if he's here in the pre-function. In the meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, as I welcome all of you back, we are here for our next session, which is on RCN trade and where do we see it going from here. So while this session is largely a forecasting of the RCN business, ladies and gentlemen, our speaker is already here in the house. Mr. Stephen Tang will join us shortly, but we already have with us the Regional Agri-Commodities Manager for Maersk Africa, and he is here to present to us the scenario in 2023 and the way forward. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as I invite on the podium Mr. Nkematiah Nkeanglefack. I'm sure we all had a good lunch. Let's make that noise, please. Come on.
Good afternoon, everybody, and hope you enjoyed your lunch. Welcome back. So I've been given a short time to speak, and I'm going to stick to that. And I will be taking you through 2022, looking overall what happened, and then we'll look at 2023 and possible solutions that Maersk overall is looking at providing to support our customers. So looking back into 2022, a lot has been said about the market, but global production was around 4.4 million, which represented like a 1% increase. And overall, we saw like a 10% increase out of West Africa. This was also driven by a lot of local initiatives. The decline in volume into Vietnam, about 34 to 35% last year, which was of course linked to the fact that the price was, overall processing price was high, and while the market price was quite low. And also some of the big players could not get the sourcing from Vietnam, the Ukraine war as well impacting. But we also saw a growth into India of approximately 70%. This growth actually put a lot of pressure, right, on the capacity. So there was this dynamic change in volumes, put pressure on our services that goes mainly into Mangalore, Tuticorin, and Vizag. And so therefore space was a challenge last year. It was quite difficult to get space to book. And because of that, the overall freight rates were also going up. And one thing that impacted us was empty equipment availability. It was quite a challenge. Post-COVID and within the COVID period, there was a high demand of empties in Asia. Asia had a lot of demand because at that time people were working from home. They needed to order a lot more stuffs, and so this caused a lot of empties, which was supposed to support the West African market to be shipped back to Asia, for exports out of Asia. And so overall, it was a tight situation and it was a tough one, right? And all these events, definitely, it was difficult to manage, but when we look at, what the market, the cashew market, we understand that cashew is a very fragmented market compared to other commodities. We have 30% of the big players and the rest 70% are smaller players. And Maersk, knowing fully well the dynamics of that, we are now looking at 2023 and how we can better support our customers. The forecast for 2023 is expected to be about 4% plus compared to what we shipped in 2022. And by 2028, we are expected, the raw cashew nut is expected to reach plus 5%. Processing is increasing in West Africa. Today we are sitting at 10% processing capacity. So Ivory Coast, for example, that produces about 1 million metric tons, 350 of that is being processed. It's expected to be processed, but we are not yet there. The plan is that by 2025, 50% of that should be processed. So overall, in 2023, we'll see an increased processing capacity out of West Africa, which will overall change the dynamics of how volumes will move. Because today, the volumes move into Vietnam and India, but if the processing is increasing in West Africa, the markets, of course, for the processed cashew will definitely be mostly into Europe and North America. And we therefore need to be aware of that and have the solutions that are necessary, to cover up for all these dynamic changes which will be seen in the market. Right? In 2022, we had a lot of challenges in terminals, vessel emissions, transit delays. It was a difficult year, and we acknowledge, and our customers as well will bear with us and understand that 2022 was a tough year, right? A lot of omissions in Far East Asia impacted the services, and therefore we couldn't get vessels coming timely into our ports. But of course, as we move into 2023, we are looking forward to even better improvement. These situations are easing out. It's not longer the case. In West Africa today, we have a pool of empties because there's no longer the drive to send the empties back into Far East Asia. We have, as Maersk, negotiated a lot of fixed berthing windows across the different ports to ensure that our vessels can come in timely and be able to serve our customers. Abidjan was a concern because of the congestion we had, but we see the new terminal now in Abidjan coming in to ease out the situation that we were facing there. So the market will definitely normalize, and we'll also see that the freight rates will also, of course, go down. And if we compare versus last year, we should be approximately less overall in the market, looking at approximately like $500 less versus last year. Maersk, overall, we want to support our customers by connecting and simplifying global supply chain. Right? We want to improve life for all by integrating the world. That is why we are offering end-to-end solutions to our customers. So we are aware of 2022 challenges, but in 2023 we are saying that we are open for business and we want to work with our customers. Given that it is a very fragmented kind of market, then we want to put in place solutions which will fit every player in the market. From an ocean perspective, we have a dedicated team at our origin locations. Of course, last year we got a lot of feedback around being difficult with the teams, but this year we have dedicated teams in all the locations just to ensure that we have people that you can speak to who are cashew experts and that can support your business. We have the vessel calls in all our ports, weekly vessel calls to support you. And from a capacity perspective, given the pressure we had with the shift into Middle East and space constraints, we are looking at least a 25% increase in our capacity. That is overall averagely, but when we look at some locations, we'll even be sitting at more than 50% increase in terms of our capacity. And from a container availability perspective, which was a major challenge last year, this year we have built a lot of buffer stock and we are looking forward to have vessels to come in with supplies, weekly supplies in our ports. All this is just to ensure that we can help our customers and that the challenge faced last year will not be faced for this season. And from a transit time perspective, we have also relooked at our cashew network for 2023, and we are talking averagely an increase of 12 days, an improvement of 12 days into India and at least 7 days into Asia. That is for some of our key locations. And all of this information, you can find it on our site with all the improvements needed. But for our key, our key customers, we have a solution which is more end-to-end, but we know that there is still the part of the market who, if they don't want to have some kind of an end-to-end solution with us, we are still ready to support them on the ocean business. We have both short-term rates, we have long-term rates, and we ensure that whoever comes to us can meet and find what kind of service that they are looking for at a particular point in time. So with this, I'll just end by saying that Maersk is open for business. We are looking at shipping with you. We have looked at our network this season, and we have looked at possibilities of how we can grow and build business with you. So looking forward to this season and wishing everyone an excellent cashew campaign. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Mr. Nkematiah, can I request you to please take your seat? Yeah.
Thank you.
That was indeed a very optimistic presentation coming from one of the leaders in the shipping industry. A lot of positive points. I'm sure all of you would have taken note of it. 2023 is going to be different for the better. There's going to be an improvement in shipping time. There's going to be increased availability of empties. So probably most of the challenges which the industry had faced in the last couple of years, I think we would not see it in 2023. Thank you very much. A big round of applause to our speaker. Having said that, the industry might have some concerns. So I invite one or two questions, if there are any, before we move to the second speaker. If there are any concerns which you have or any questions you want to pose?
Please raise your hand up in the air. We'll send a mic across to you.
Yeah.
Any questions, comments on what you've just seen?
Yeah. Any other areas where you see the shipping companies can do better or improve the services? Except for the rates, yeah. Okay. Nobody?
Sir, please do introduce yourself to the entire audience before you pose your query.
Good afternoon. I'm Scott Karen. I'm with Ward Holdings in Tanzania. I'm glad to hear that there's more empties. That's going to be helpful. What do we need? I think in the customer service side, fast responses, getting things like the bill of lading back to us really fast. It's not rocket science. It's the usual kinds of things. But that's what delays us getting paid. It's what delays all kinds of things, right? So I appreciate your help. We love you guys. We love everybody that helps us get our product to our customers.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your question. And I do agree that last year was a bit challenging for us. And accessibility haven't been the best. But as I mentioned in the beginning, this year we are going different. We are doing things differently from what we did last year. We are actually building a team, which is cashew team, experts in the cashew at each location, people who will be in contact with our customers and ensuring that for the season we have people you can speak to, right? And this team will be available to listen to you and answer your questions and ensure that you get the much needed attention and responses within the cashew season for all your operations, right? So that's why it's a bit a change from the way it was handled last season. So expect some improvement on that, right? And I'm very confident that we'll be able to serve you the best way this year.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that assurance on the document aspect of it, which is causing delay. Thank you so much. I think we are past the COVID, right? No more COVID-related constraints, and I think it should not be a problem to resume to the or go back to at least to the pre-COVID level, or if not better.
Yeah. So during the COVID, right, the dynamic it really changed, right? There was a lot of challenges, transit delays, empties that were going back into Far East Asia. And as you rightly mentioned, it's easing out now. So it's like a natural tendency, and it's happening, and it's a market issue, right? I wouldn't say it's only Maersk. All the companies, logistics companies, they are seeing that easing out now, and overall you will see that there will be less challenges faced, being it from a documentation perspective, being it from empty equipment availability perspective, being it from the transit delays that we faced during the last season. So 2023, it's even more better with the post-COVID and COVID being less than what we faced in 2022.
Thank you very much. That was indeed really wonderful to hear from you that things are going to be a lot better in 2023. One last question before I go to the next speaker is what is your expectation basically from the industry? Because I saw in one of your slides you have given a projection in terms of 2028 and so on and so forth. You've also seen the trade flows to India and Vietnam change very rapidly. Maybe what is that as a service provider you expect from the industry in terms of information so that you can plan better in terms of serving them?
Yes, thank you very much. So you rightly mentioned the dynamic is changing, right? We will see more of the processed cashew moving now to Europe and North America, and for this, we definitely need the right solutions. We definitely need to prepare ahead of time and provide what is needed. The way it will be shipped will not be the same like the raw cashew nuts. We need to have the proper packaging. We need to have the right transit times, to get to the final destination timely. Therefore, what we need from our customers, we need from those in the industry is timely information, right, to feed us with information and real-time forecasting of the demand trends and what is happening so that we on our side, we can plan in terms of capacity. So if we know that demand is changing, then that kind of information can help us plan earlier in terms of what kind of capacity do you need to get that. If we see that there is new demands elsewhere and there is a need for more or improved transit time or a different transit time, those are the kind of discussions we can have so that we on our part can build the right solutions that you need.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A big round of applause for our first speaker, Mr. Nkematiah from North Africa. Thank you very much, sir. Please be seated. It's my request now to Mr. Stephen to come and tell us about what has happened in 2022 in terms of movement of raw cashews from Africa to Vietnam, and how does the situation look like in 2023?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your invitation from the Cashew Forum. It's my pleasure to be here to present the topic ASEAN trade between Africa, Cambodia, and Vietnam. Okay, first we review the ASEAN import to Vietnam from 2021. Okay, so we can see in 2021, Vietnam import 3.1 million tons with the value of $4.4 billion. The biggest importer market is the Cambodia with the 1.1 million tons. With the market share around 35%. Then we will review ASEAN import to Vietnam 2022. It's a big difference from 2021. In 2022, we import 2.1 million tons with a value only $2.8 billion. Cambodia also in the second year become our biggest import market with the market share 33%. So ASEAN import volume to Vietnam compared between 2021 and 2022. We can see the import volume is decreased around 1 million tons with a 33% decrease. Only Big South increased 27%, the rest of the origin all decrease. So let's see the ASEAN price import to Vietnam 2021 and 2022. The average price is almost same, 1,387 and 1,233. Only decrease of almost 4%, but we can see in Cambodia, 1,600 decrease to 1,400. Then we will overview quality of some country import to Vietnam in 2022. First, in Cambodia, the general qualities were good. Big nut, Ivory Coast, general qualities were good also, well ripe, less potash, but some marked shipment, early shipment, they still missing by on crop 2021. For Ghana, no more qualities, no more. Many shipment got wet. Hers missing IBC and Burkina Faso. Nigeria, general was not good because of the high moisture. Many shipments from Nigeria go to Vietnam is got a very heavy wet. And last year, we can see there no cozy offer, only Opomoso. For Big South, the nut size were good. Quality also good, well ripe. Tanzania, very good quality. Well ripe, nut size was not uniform. So in the 2022, we have faced a lot of challenges in ASEAN trade. First, in the price, we remember the price is from March, February, early March is very high, then increase until middle of March, then later drop a lot. So with the price drop, we're facing another challenge is the default. Sometimes, some year they default from seller, some year default from buyer. It's always the problem every year. Then we have the quality challenge. Shipment, late shipment, shortage the container. And last year we have one new challenge is the bank interest increase and the currency devaluation also. This one only happened from last year. So Vietnam cashew processing environment 2022 and 2023. Let's compare the 2 years. First for ASEAN price, in this time, March 2022 and February 2022, I will take the Ivory Coast for the standard because this one is always the biggest production country. So in Ivory Coast 49 last year, in this time 1,230, 1,250. This year is same level. But for W220 last year is 2.8 and 2.9 US dollar per pound. This year only right now 2.5, 2.6 for the March shipment. Freight last year almost 9,000, 10,000, 12,000 from Vietnam to US, from Vietnam to Europe. This year maybe cheaper. Right now I think around $900,000. For bank cost, the interest last year 2.5% per year only. This year right now 5%. So how is expected to impact ASEAN trade in 2023? I think everybody had their own strategy. Expectation on ASEAN trade in 2023 by Vietnam. First, we will see very important what will come in March, April, and May. For the supply and the whole year capacity of the world. For supply, this year Vietnam we will have around 300,000 metric ton. And right now the inventory in Vietnam 200,000 ton. Cambodia 1 million, Ivory Coast also 1 or 1.1 million ton. In this data are not confirmed, but maybe around 700,000 or 800,000 ton. Another West African country except Bissau, Senegal, Gambia, 600,000. So total we will have 4 million ton supply will come in March, April, and May. So we will see whole year capacity. Vietnam this year we process total around 1.8 million ton. India 1.5 or maybe 1.7 million ton. Ivory Coast 200,000. So the demand of ASEAN to process should be around 3.5 million ton, or maybe a little bit higher, 3.7 million ton. So we can see the difference between supply and whole year capacity of processing. But where we still have more coming. Bissau, Senegal, Gambia, 250,000 ton. Tanzania, Mozambique, Madagascar, Indonesia, almost we can take 200,000 tons, so 2 tons will be 550,000. So the crop will be more than 4.5 million ton. With the whole year capacity 3.5 million. So we will have extra 1 million ton in the market. And this year we have one main factor is the biggest ASEAN buyer who can buy, who can keep 300,000 or 500,000 ton in the pocket disappear. So we can see 1 million ton around the market extra. So let's see the current RCN and CK price. This is my personal calculation. I would calculate how much for 1 pound of kernel. So with the Ivory Coast 48, 1,200, 1,220, so it should be around $25.5 per 1 pound of kernel. Cambodia big nuts, 110 nuts, 1,450. This price I got a few days before, not today. So we can calculate $27.9 for 1 pound of kernel. Cambodia small nut, $1,280. So it will be $24.6 for 1 pound. Vietnam, 1,250. Also $25.5 for 1 pound of kernel. So with that we can have the look for the price of a 1 pound of kernel we will get from own origin. Right now with the 320 we have a 2.5 and 2.6 pound. So this is the expectation from Vietnamese factory. They send me only, it's not mine. It should be, IBC should be, they told me that 900 to 1,000 for 48. Their expectation price with compared with the W220. So all price quality are based on the well-ripe nuts. This we can see the price almost same, but the quality is different. Vietnam, Cambodia, the quality is better with the taste and smell. Almost the kernel quality is better. Africa, because of the fertilizer, of the seeds or many things, you know. Take care of the plantation. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much for sharing a lot of information.
Yeah.
Please be seated. I'm sure there will be quite a lot of questions on your presentation. Maybe I will wait for somebody to start the first question. Anyone? By the way, just one question on your last year's figure. 1,333 is the average price of raw cashews. 333, right? And your average realization on kernels from Vietnam was 5,800. So what's the cost of processing in Vietnam?
The cost of processing is depend, the big factory or the small factory but right now the processing cost in Vietnam almost about $1.3 per kilo of kernel. We calculate based on kernel, not ASEAN price. So we get 1 kilo of kernel, the cost for processing is around 1.3 or 1.5 US dollars.
Okay.
Just the processing cost, not bank interest or another cost, however. Yeah.
So if I have to work back, you start with $5.8 and you take out $1.3, you're ending up with $4.5 per kg of kernel, whereas you paid $1,300 per kg per ton of raw nuts. 4:1 means you had suffered a loss?
Yeah, sure.
As an industry?
Yeah, the processor, they cannot stop the factory to wait for the price go down to get the expectation price, Sometimes they have to buy some quantity for the factory to run. Yeah, but they will buy slow or fast, depend on the price, or they make money or no. So right now, almost the processor, they will buy and weigh even from Cambodia and Vietnam crop. They will weigh price going down every day. From Cambodia, from 40,000 dong, today it's 31,000 dong only, 25% drop.
So you talked about currency devaluation. In terms of percentage, how much has it devalued in 2022?
2022, you can see before In $1 is 22,000 something dong. But in the season, in September, October, is $1 is almost 24,000, 25,000 dong.
So that's 2,000 dong more,
Yeah, almost more than 10%.
about 8 to 10%.
Yes, and bank interest increase every day.
And what was the shell price last year?
Share price last year, the processor they support by the sale price. Sale price from 2,000 dong per 1 kilo, move up to 5,500 dong for 1 kilo.
So in a
That's
way,
why to help them to cover back some money for the loss.
Thank you very much. Any questions for our speaker? Yes.
Check. We are sending a mic to you, sir. Please introduce yourself to the audience.
Again, my name is Andara from Cambodia, and we are close to Vietnam, and we're really impressed that your presentation is very detailed to us. And Vietnam is the big processor in the world, I can say that. But actually, we don't really have the data about we don't really have the data between the big nut and the small nut. Do you have any data about, for example, like 1 million of cashew nut from Cambodia to Vietnam for the raw one? And did you have the data about the big nut and the small nut? Or because I see your presentation, you have differentiated the small nut and the big nut. What is the percentage of the small nut from Cambodia?
Honestly, we don't have the data for the big nuts or the small nut. But when the Vietnamese processor, they buy from in the border. And they go a lot of area in Cambodia, they check. They know one thing exactly, that the big nuts of the plantation of the big nut tree increasing a lot until now, yeah. My guess only around, I think 70% big nuts and 30% small nut. Yeah. It's my personal only, yeah.
Je voudrais remercier le conférencier et exprimer des réserves sur sa démarche, parce qu'il est une entreprise privée, il n'est pas une organisation qui fait des analyses donc pour arriver à ce genre donc de conclusion. Et l'autre chose, c'est par rapport à des affirmations sur la qualité des amandes. Ce qui nous revient en tout cas, c'est les clients qui achètent des amandes en Côte d'Ivoire, et il y a des transformateurs qui sont là, qui peuvent la tester, nous disent que la qualité est excellente et qu'ils veulent que des amandes origine Côte d'Ivoire, au point qu'aujourd'hui, nos transformateurs n'arrivent pas à suivre la demande. Alors on est un peu surpris d'entendre que donc, la qualité des amandes africaines n'est pas bonne. Ça, c'est vraiment une grosse surprise, et je me permets de mettre beaucoup de réserves donc, sur ces affirmations. Merci.
Mr. Sanogo from Côte d'Ivoire, manufacturer. I'm CEO of a manufacturing corporate for that. So just I'll help understand what has been said by our CEO. All of us, even some more than others, by the results of his studies. We have some reserves, but we do not contest what he says. But we do not understand how it can be that some of our customers only want cashew from Côte d'Ivoire, because the cashew from Côte d'Ivoire has a better quality, and what he says here is a bit astonishing. Right, and also the other facts, we'll come to that later.
Yeah, I just wanted to share one thing what Mr. Stephen said. Two things actually he said. One is that this is what the industry feels, that given W320 at 2.5 to 2.6, the Vietnamese expectation is around 900 to 1,000. That's all it is to be taken. It is not, it is just an opinion. So it is not the value of ivory coasting. Yes. It is just as an example he has said that one. The basic essence there is that the parity is at this level. That's all. It is nothing against Ivory Coast. If you want to clarify, please do that, Pani.
No, just because why I use Ivory Coast to in my presentation, because always in Vietnam the famous cargo import RCN just from Ivory Coast, and another country we based on Ivory Coast price, maybe higher, maybe lower. That's one we.
Okay, I'll ask you something different. If you take current price, which you said as 1250 to 1300, what is the price you would like to see for W320?
This should be if with this price, okay, it should be 3.8, almost $3, 2.9 to $3 per pound for W320.
So that's another way to say, like, he feels
Yes.
if there is 1250 to 1300 is the prevailing price, the expectation of the processor would be around 2.9 to $3 for W320.
With the price, we hope, of course, we hope kernel price increase. It's good for us.
Yeah.
It should be around $3 per pound for W320.
One last question I want to ask about is the bonded warehouse and the stocks in the bonded warehouse. You have said 200,000 as the stock. What is the bonded warehouse capacity in Vietnam?
If you want, let me calculate that it should be around 300,000 for all the bonded warehouse in Vietnam.
So year round, how much will be the average stock in the bonded warehouse?
Yes, and it belongs to who I can tell you, I can say here. Yeah. Just this, the point as well, it's just my personal calculation with my data, what I receive.
Thank you. No problem. We respect that. It is a personal calculation. It is not about any origin, but it is what you feel about it. It's okay. Thank you very much. Is there any question? Because he has presented. Yes. It's the last question, and then, we have one final comment from our speaker from Merck's.
Good afternoon. My name is Bala. I'm from Vibhu Ventures, Chennai, India. The presentation which he put out, he had said Cambodia raw nuts, 70% is big nuts. So you are looking at 1 million tons of Cambodian nuts, of which 70% is big nuts with 110 nut count, which obviously means your buyers have to consume more of 180s and 210s. Now, the percentage of demand of 210s and 180s in the world, I feel, is much lesser during this particular period, let's say March, April, May, June. So you would rather look at the West African raw nuts than the Cambodian raw nuts. This is my feeling. What do you feel?
That is his view. What do you feel about that? Seems like Vietnam should prefer more of West Africa nuts because there is a ready market for W320 compared to like Cambodian nuts.
Yeah, you are right. Yeah. The most fairest kernel is W320 with the big nuts of Cambodia. Almost they just do for the sown rust with the testa. They don't do for the final products. Yeah, if you do final product, it's only get W160 or 180 to 10. That's one. The market is not too much for that level. Only so even that the Vietnamese processor prefer from Africa, especially from Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast, easy for them to process. They know well for the Ivory Coast quality.
One last question. Yes, please.
Yeah, I have a question. Last year, have a lost cargo from RCN from Ghana come to Vietnam and have a big problem. The quality not good. So I want to ask you about what's the road close of this reason last year. Why this cargo not good? Because I heard that when the seller they check in quality in Ghana, this quality very good. But when the cargo come to Vietnam, it's not good.
In West, right? Cargo come to Vietnam is
Now, he was asking specifically about 2022 cargo from Ghana.
Yeah.
When it was inspected at origin, it was okay, but when it arrived in Vietnam, it was not good.
Yeah.
Any reason which you feel like, which was different last year?
The first main issue from Ghana is the production is around 200,000 tons. But if you compare the import quantity from Ghana to India and to Vietnam, it's become around almost 400,000 tons. So 200,000 tons from where? From Ivory Coast, from Monaco, from Burkina Faso. Yeah. So the quality from there is also not good. When you mix with the Ghana quality, it will make your general quality is bad. The second thing is the moisture. In African, we don't have enough facility to sun dry on the cashew, like in Vietnam, like in Cambodia. So it depends a lot for the weather. Any year, the rains come soon. Then that year, a lot of heavy west cargo come to Vietnam.
Thank you very much for the direct answer. Thank you very much. One last question to our speaker from Merck's, because I wanted to know the plans for 2023, how you want to collaborate with the industry and take it forward.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So,
any specific services which you have offered or plan to offer in 2023 to address some of the constraints what the industry has?
yes, so as I mentioned this year, we are going out and we want to offer end-to-end solutions to our customers. We know you are the experts in cashew, and we are the experts in what we do. We want to allow you take time, to grow your business with your customers so that we can, manage end-to-end for you. That is right from the farm. We can offer you with trucking, warehousing, customs clearance, both at origin and destination, right? Shipping and everything in terms of logistics and services, right? We are also looking into that is sustainability. We want to, meet up with the standards which, will soon come in the future in terms of how we want to serve our customer in a sustainable way. So that's why we are calling on you as well to partner with us from a sustainability perspective. But overall, what we are looking out for is that we hear from you. We want to hear from you what kind of solutions you're looking at, and then together we can develop those solutions to fit in to your supply chain. We know the dynamics may be different when it comes to different destinations, when it comes to do with the different qualities of the cashew, and that is why it is important that we know the kind of cashew you're shipping, the quality of your cashew, and we can build solutions around that. So I've mentioned already what we have as improvement for the ocean part of the business in 2023, but going forward, right, and even beyond that, we will, ensure that we can take this from you and give you the time to manage your business, and then we can give you what it takes from a full logistics and service solution.
Thank you so much. And with this, as we conclude this session, a big thank you to the audience. It's absolutely amazing to see that the numbers have swollen back to original since morning. And as Mr. Srivatsava escorts both our speakers to the middle of the stage, let's present a memento to each of our speakers, starting with our guest from Maersk, Mr. Nkematiah. A big thank you for your presentation. And of course, Mr. Stephen Tang. So ladies and gentlemen, as Mr. Nkematiah concluded his address on the stage just now, he said one of the most important things, and that is what brings everything into the right perspective why we are all here. He very openly has sent out the clarion call to each one of you to bring out your requirements to your supply chain and logistics partners, and they tailor-make the products for you. And it is forums like these where you get to meet with the stakeholders, the industry leaders, everyone that's playing a role in the cashew supply chain, right from plantation production to end product. Please make sure that you reach out, especially areas that are your Achilles heels. This is the time to reach out to your partners and collaborators and iron those wrinkles out. Well, a big thank you to each one of our speakers up here